papers?
No, I want to keep my papers. This is a complicated video. Hello, everybody. J. Michael and I are here, and he doesn't like the fact I have papers, but he forgets I'm 61 almost, and I don't have that steel picture-perfect memory that I used to and that he has. So anyway, I'm keeping my notes.
So we're going to do the villages versus on top of the world. We're going to kind of touch on the lifestyle that they both provide, compare those. We're going to break down as best as we can the costs associated with both of them. And then at the end of the video, we put a post up and we said, hey, ask us some of your questions and we'll try to get them answered. And we'll do that at the end of this video. So let's get into it.
So lifestyle, I have to say, they're both fairly large communities. And you know, on top of the world isn't the 10,000 homes yet, but right now around 5,000 homes, if I'm...
You know, it's a 5,500, I think.
Yes, thank you. They do have sort of some activities outside the gates you can get to by golf cart. The Villages by far is one of those communities that you get on your golf cart, you can go anywhere, even the hospitals, doctor's offices, I mean everything. And that is their kind of claim to fame.
So what I would say too, and kind of what I noticed, is on top of the world is kind of like a little bit more of a laid-back Villages, right? Would you agree with that? Like
Absolutely.
The Village is very busy. There's a lot of people all the time. Things are constantly happening. Where on top of the world, you know, for example, the town center, when there's events and stuff, there'll be people there, and then you'll go when there's not a lot going on, and there's like nobody around. It kind of calms down. So where the Village is, it's like constant like. Busy.
Well, they've got 3 town squares.
Yeah.
And music every day, and whether it's live or pipes through their sound systems. So, and then there's shops, and they're all surrounded by shops and restaurants. So people are doing stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And you guys have seen the videos, golf cart after golf cart. You know, that's not the same vibe. So you got a little bit of a difference there.
Well, and for example, you know, there's 5,500 homes right now in on top of the world. They have 1 town center. The Villages has 70,000 people, still growing, and they have 3 town centers. So you can kind of break that down and figure out like there's a lot more people per town center.
So we're comparing these two because of the location in Florida. You know, on top of the world is right just north of the Villages. In fact, you know, maybe 30 or 40 minutes.
Yep, it's you know, northwest. It's a little bit closer to Crystal River. So as far as location goes, they're both pretty rural, right? The Villages obviously has everything that the Villages offers, so it's kind of like its own pocket.
Its own city.
But outside of that, it's far from anything. And then same with on top of the world. So what on top of the world offers in Ocala is a lot of people that are interested in horses, things like that, are very close to all of that. And then they have tons of outdoor recreation. We touched on some of this. We did a video where we broke down on top of the world. So if you guys want more in-depth stuff on that, you can always check that out.
Yes.
And then we'll have more Villages content to come. We still need to break down some of that stuff, and we'll keep doing videos on that. So.
Yes, so that's kind of the main thing. All of these communities, these two will stick to, have your fitness centers, you've got pools, and you've got plenty of it, you know, enough for the population. One thing we found out was for a unique lifestyle amenity was your race car track that you and Justin just loved to film.
Yeah, so that was interesting. And again, we touched on this in the last video, but there was a guy that actually left the Villages to go to on top of the world because they had a dedicated RC track and they had an RC playing field.
Remote control. Just wanted to let you guys know if you didn't know that.
They had you know, a paved runway, some cool stuff. You can check that out in on top of the world video if you want to see that. Now, I'm sure there's stuff that's specific to the Villages that on top of the world doesn't have. I mean, You're talking about 70,000 plus people or plus homes. They have, I mean, a club for everything. You know what would be a fun video is if we actually took the more unorthodox clubs and just put a little list together, because they have they have a club for everything.
Yes, that would be very cool. And then folks can put in what kind of clubs that they would like to see that they don't see. That would be fun. I like that idea. So the Villages has approximately 3,000 clubs. So there's probably a club for everything. So again, we're lifestyle. A lot of the difference is the size of the community.
So one of the things I do want to touch on specifically is golf. Now, if there's something that you're interested in, you have a specific interest, you can always reach out to one of our experts and they'll tell you whether, you know, the Villages Around Top of the World has that. But golf, let's talk about golf.
So golf, that's an interesting thing and one of the Village's claims to fame, because their executive courses, when you buy in there, are free. Literally free. You can play as much as you want. I hear
it's built into the you know,
amenity
fee. Yeah.
Yes, okay, so that's true. So it's, yes. And then if you want to play on the championship golf courses, you do have to pay, and I think the rates were about 40 to 60?
So this is where it varies quite a bit. So it's 40 to 60 if you're a resident. It's different if you're not a resident. There's also some other fees involved in golf. If you have a membership, you can get a membership and then you get a discount on that. They also have a tee time system, which lets you track the amount of golf you play and see when there's slots available, which costs, I think, $100 a year, a little bit less than that. They also have trail fees, which the way that's structured is a little weird. It's $4 to take your own golf cart on the course per person. So it's like, if you have a golf cart with 2 people, you have to pay $8.
Oh. So there's little fees and stuff like that. But if you're a golf fanatic, it might be the perfect place. I have heard people get frustrated with the wait times sometimes for the most popular time to play. But that's the kind of thing, again.
Well, and that's so in season, it becomes harder. It's like probably even harder on the executive golf courses to get a good time. It's just it's a busy place.
Well, and we get a lot of our information from teammates, and one of my teammates lives in there, and he's a golfer. So any kind of little tweaky questions, we'll get them answered for you.
Yeah, feel free to reach out. You can always reach out.
So that's kind of the lifestyle.
Well, sorry, real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt you. What about on Top of the World Golf? They have 3 golf courses, 2 private, 1 semi-private, and I mean, I think golf is going to be, you know, the expense of it is going to be comparable. That kind of stuff's always changing too, so you can always look that up if you're really interested in figuring out how much it's going to cost to golf in either or.
Or send us an email and we'll send you a link to their golf courses.
Yeah, we can help with any of that.
Yeah.
Boom. Nice. Amenities, lifestyle, done. Real estate and costs.
Okay. So now we are going to try and tackle the daunting part, and that's the average cost of living on Top of the World or living in the Villages. There's a lot of different sections of the Villages, for instance, so they're going to be a little bit different, but we'll do our best.
Yeah, so this real quick, let me check the lens here. Come on, man. You can't see that? Let me get up in here. Oh, man.
Do you want to?
It's on there.
Do you want to glass this thing? Did you spit on your camera?
No, it's pretty good. How's it look?
Looks clear.
Before we even start, I just want to say 2 things. One, the Villages newcomers, again, they did a video where they broke down every single one of their expenses. It's a cool video in the Villages if you want to see that. It varies. Like, it's going to vary depending on where you're at. It's going to vary depending on your lifestyle. It's going to depend on how much water you use, all this other stuff. So we're going to keep this kind of broad. We'll put something on the screen so you can see kind of a side-by-side. Reach out to one of these experts inside a specific community because they're going to know in and out everything that you put in your budget to take into consideration. Figure out how much you have left over for all sorts of activities, and you know, you want to have enough money to enjoy yourself when you're in these communities.
First, the biggie, CDD and Bond. Okay, so on Top of the World, either in Candler or the maintenance-free section of On Top of the World, no CDD, no bond. We get this question a lot. What is that? Well, the developer takes out a loan and then builds the amenities and then sells the houses. The bond is the person buying the house helping pay off that loan. So it's part of, you know, the payment, and that shows up on your tax bill in the non-ad valorem section. Some of the bonds are paid off. The new ones, of course, none of it is paid off. So you're looking approximately, say, a fresh bond, maybe $20,000 over a period of time. So it breaks down per year. So that's the bond. So the actual maintenance fee is also on your tax bill, and that's for the maintenance of all your common areas and stuff. It's not common ground and things like that. And that is on your tax bill. That adds to that annual cost. On Top of the World does not have those costs.
So when we started breaking this stuff down, they both ended up being pretty similar in HOA, lawn care, water, all of this stuff. But at the end of the day, it sort of ended up being around that $600, $700 mark per month between the amenity fee and all the other stuff. The big difference was the bond and CDD in the villages, which on Top of the World didn't have.
That's correct. So taxes and the millage rate are very confusing as well, but your millage rate is just the taxable rate that the government times is by the value of your house to get your property tax. Depending upon which county, there's different millage rates. Now the cool thing with Florida is we don't have personal income tax. If you call Florida your homestead, you'll get a discount from your assessed value of your house. So the difference between the millage rates, Sumter County is lower, Marion County and Lake were similar. We're talking 16.5 or 17.5. 16.5 Marion, 17.5 for Lake County.
And this stuff always changes.
Yep, and we can, and this is the cool part too, as agents, if you're looking at a house, the breakdown of all of that in detail. So if you're looking at a specific house, we can help you with all of that.
Guess what we forgot to mention?
What?
So it depends on how much money you put
huge.
down. On Top of the World,
Yeah.
you have to put 20% down.
Yes, it's requirement.
So and they don't accept VA loans. They don't accept,
because VA
it's
loans
only
are 0 down. FHA is 3%. They don't accept anything under 20% down. That's a biggie. I'm going to mention one more thing. I'm not a mortgage broker. We have connections with mortgage brokers, and we put you in touch with somebody that knows. That changes all the time. It depends on your credit rating. It depends on all kinds of stuff. Again, we got resident agents. They're experts in the 55 plus, and we're the team. We are.
Cool. Okay, so the other thing we want to do is just show you guys a couple different houses in On Top of the World and the villages, so you guys can get a comparison, and we'll break down some of that stuff.
So this section of the video, I'm just going to take over and sort of just go over some houses that J. Michael and I videoed. And we'll start with 9316 Southwest 94th Loop. So this is on Top of the World in the maintenance free section. And this home was built in 2015. And it has 1,772 square feet. It is 2-bedroom, 2-bath with a flex room. It's got a sweet little front porch. That's very nice. And it is really on a very nice lot. So that's super nice. It's $249,900. One of the unique features in this one might be that it has this huge laundry room. Sometimes the laundry is just in a small little cubby laundry area in between the garage and the home, but this one was absolutely huge. Okay, so similarly over at the Villages at 8312 Southeast 168th Trinity Place. Keep in mind the Villages is huge. This one happened to be in Marion County. And you guys saw some of the differences there. This one had a new roof, new paint, etc. Built 2003, 1,567 square feet. It is a 2-2 plus the den. You could easily add a door and make it a third bedroom. This one priced at $289,000. So comparatively, as far as price per square foot, the house 9316 Southwest 94th was $138.83 a square foot, and the 8312 Southeast 168th in the Villages was $184.43 a square foot. All right, so next I'm going to compare two that were both built in approximately the same years. A little bit of a difference in size, but a big difference in price. So you can just sort of see, you know, from end to end. So I'm going to start with 9815 Southwest 92nd Place Road in Ocala. Again, that's in the maintenance-free section. This was built in 2005. It is a 2-2. It is, you know, on a nice lot, gas stove, nice home. So this house is $169,900, which comes to $116.21 a square foot. All right, so just compared to the one on 2699 Hollington Drive in the Villages, which is one of the sweet little villas with a picket fence and a front porch. No back porches on this villa street. Your porch is on the front, and then you have a patio on the side. And we saw some beautiful things that folks did with that. This one is built in 2004. It has 1,156 square feet. So that math equals out to $187.28 a square foot.
All right, so for the section of the video, we're going to go over some of the comments you guys put. We put a post up and said, hey, we're doing this video. What kind of questions do you guys want answered? And here's what we got. All right, so first question's got a few, it's kind of a loaded question. It's got a few components to it, so I'm gonna give them to you one at a time.
All right, shoot that question. I'm ready.
All right. Laura Lamp, what are the advantages and drawbacks to buying a pre-owned home in both the Villages and OTO, or otherwise known as On Top of the World?
Okay, so strictly speaking, resales, the advantage or disadvantage of either, I suppose in On Top of the World, just knowing the fact that you're on a lease land-wise versus a fee simple ownership of the land.
And it's only a section of On Top of the World.
Yes.
So just understanding that.
Yes, just understanding that. As far as the value of the resales, this is just in general when you're shopping resales. And either community, the age of the home, both of them have fairly aged homes. And then whether they've got the new roof, new mechanicals, that kind of thing when you're buying the resale. But inventory's low, folks, really low right now in both of those communities. So I think it's just knowing the specific house, the resale house.
Yeah, it's probably going to boil down to a specific house.
Yeah,
okay.
I hope that answered that.
On a $200,000 home, compare the property taxes, the Villages versus On Top of the World. So we kind of broke down the cost earlier in this video.
When you're looking at taxes, you're going to go, why is this house in Marion County in the Villages so much more than On Top of the World? And that is your non-ad valorem bond and amenity assessment or maintenance assessment of what they call on that. So you're going to see high rates. It'll also depend on those homestead exemptions that we discussed earlier.
What is the difference in security between a truly gated community like On Top of the World versus a community with gates like the Villages?
To be sort of honest about the difference, a gate guard taking your license and writing down your plate and even making sure you have an appointment is a lot harder to get through, and most of the Villages is open to driving through, and then just have gate arms that open and take a picture of your license plate. Yeah.
If you want more information on that, what we suggest is reaching out to the local sheriff's office, stuff like that. We can't talk about a lot of this stuff because of the association with real estate, but they will 100% give you details on
crimes,
whatever. Stuff like that. So if that's something that's truly a concern, that's your resource right there, and they'll give you all that information. Wendy Mangani.
We'll say first names so you never have to mess up somebody's
I know, I'm messing up all of these probably.
That's all right.
Who has the best bike trails? Is it just the Villages who have bond payments?
We answered the bond. Yes, the Villages is the only one for these two comparisons that has the bond.
So as far as bike trails go, On Top of the World has Shalom Park, which is right up the road. It's outside of the community, and it's a beautiful preserve where they have biking trails and stuff like that. It's really cool. And the Villages, basically people use the cart pass. So really, if you're into biking, you can go anywhere. Both of those locations outside of the communities, there's going to be a ton of options. You're in Central Florida, you got elevation change, you've got a lot of beautiful natural trails and stuff like that all over the place you can get to. So again, I'm sorry if I mispronounced these names. Daco Gray says, how diverse are these 55 plus communities? Again, we're not allowed to talk about sex, religion, age, nationality, even school, some stuff like this. I think what we would suggest is a lifestyle visit. You'll get to see and go when it's busy, and you'll get a good look at everybody there.
Yes, and then again, your local realtor has great places to stay. If you're not actually staying in that lifestyle, visit or a play-in stay, you can always, and they do have those at On Top of the World as well. So those test drives, those play-in stays, they're a great way to check out the area.
Yep. Love this question. This is a great one. Danny Duppin says, if you could buy in the Villages or on top of the world, but couldn't move into it for 12 years due to work, where would you have the most reliable rent to cover your housing cost?
Oh boy. On top of the world, 6-month minimum. You can't rent monthly. And with the Villages, you can actually rent monthly. And I know some people use their homes as vacation homes and then come down a month here or there and they have it all furnished and beautiful and then just rent it during the season, for instance.
So Danny, what I would say is really consider what you're trying to do and then discuss that with your expert that you're working with.
Yes.
Because they'll be able to find you, if you're purely looking at it from an investment standpoint and want to get as much back as possible, then working with the real estate agent, letting them know that, they'll be able to find something that's going to be easy to rent, is going to maximize your return. And at the same token, if it's like 100% the house that you want to move into and you're just trying to get it in the meantime, but then cover your costs, then there's going to be that balance of, okay, this is the house that I want, but I can definitely rent this out for however long. Thank you guys again. So the next video that we're gonna do is we're gonna do the new build opportunities again in Central Florida. We did one where we sort of did, you know, Leesburg, Claremont, Mount Dora. And so we're gonna do the east side of Orlando, sort of the opportunity, and south and Kissimmee and stuff. Some of the new build opportunities there for the next video. So if you guys have questions for that video, you can put them here in our comments. We'll check them out. I'll probably put a post up too again. It was really nice to have questions in advance that we can answer for you guys. All right, so again, if you're getting a point in your search, you can visit www.explore55plus.com and you can go see experts in the Villages and on top of the world, or you can always you know, give my beautiful mother a call or email her. All the information is going to be down in the description. And we'll see you at the next video.
Thank you.